In previous video, we have talked about, we have actually ended up talking about OOP, Object Oriented Program, and I have explained each and everything, the pillars, the concept of OOP, dunder methods, and functions we just create in the class, and why we use that. And I have explained each and everything related to that. So in this video, we are going to talk about functional programming. Well, I've talked about functions in Python. Well, function is the most important thing. Even I can tell that the most important tool. So let's talk about functional programming. Functional programming is all about separating concerns, which OOP does as well, right? Well, it will separate the concerns. It will have, very clean code. So the goal is same as OOP, or Object Oriented Program. Well, what should it do? Well, which problem it solves, and what is the main thing which it covers, means functional programming. Let's see, there are 5 points which I've mentioned here. Number one is, clear and understandable. The code will be clear and understandable when we have, functional programming. And second is easy to extend. The code must be extended, right? When we write the code and we have some other functionalities in software and program or in the app which we build, so it is easy to extend when we make functions, when we write functional program, when we use this, programming, functional programming. And third is easy to maintain. It follows this rule as well. And number 4 is memory efficient. We just do not repeat something which, take the memory. It is memory efficient. So if we write 100 lines of codes, normally when we use this functions, when we use this functional programming, it will, take less memory. It is memory efficient. And the fifth is dry. This concept, DRY, do not repeat yourself. It's very, very important to understand this. So we have talked about this functional programming. One other concept, and very, very important concept, is pure functions. So we actually talked about the functions. We creating the functions we have talked about. Here is pure function. What is pure functions? So pure functions, pure function has 2 rules. Means given the same input, it will always give the same output. So if we give some input, it will give the same output. The second rule is a function should not produce any side effects. The side effects which will affect the outside world. Let's have a very simple function. For example, I want to, multiply by 2. I want to have a list here. I want to pass a list, new list. An empty list I want to, define. For item in the list which I pass, and new list will be, I want to append it here. I want to append it here, item multiply 2. Okay. And I want to return new list. And if I print this, I want to call this multiply by 2 and pass a list like 1, 2, 3. So here we just see that what we want from it, was the main thing which we want here. So number 1 is we want to multiply by 2 the list which we give as here, and new list is here. So the overall thing which is item should be multiplied by 2, and this list, it should print some output like multiply of 2. Now let's see either it prints the same thing or not. It's 2, 4, 6. It's correct. So this follows the rule which we have talked about pure functions, like given some output, some input, and the same output as given, like multiply 2, and it doesn't produce any side effects. Well, it's pure, clean, and everything is well followed here. Every law followed here. So it's very, very good. So it's called also the pure function. So we have other functions like well built-in functions in Python, and well, and to use this, like I want to talk about the map function, and well, the map function, the filter function, and zip function. So let's talk about these three inbuilt functions, or these are very, very powerful. So we have it here. Number one, we are talking about the map function. What does it do? It allows us to simplify the code we have here. Like, well, let's first have the rule. Like, it will have the map. Just see, here it says that a function and then an iterable. Well, we need two parameters here, two or like two arguments we have to pass here. So number one is functions and an iterable. Well, we have some actions here. As I said, that actions are functions. So an iterable. This is the overall well concept here. We need to follow this. Let's have it here very, very clearly. I want to have this. I want to comment out this, and I use many things from here as well. Def multiply by 2, and item, I want to pass an item, and in the item return item multiply by 2. Well, let's print it. Let's print a list. Well, I want a list. Let's map it here. So I want to first give a function, and then well an iterable. So this list is an iterable. Now let's run this. The same output which we have seen before, 2, 4, 6. Well, it is very, very nice. Now instead of that, if I have this, for example, my list, if I have 1, 2, 3, instead of this, I want to pass this my list, and I want to print this my list as well. What will be the output? Nice. 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3. It prints the same thing. It doesn't produce any side effect in the outside the world. So it's very, very nice. So let's talk about another function, which is zip, which is filter. Filter as known from its name, that to filter something. Let's use the same example as for filter. We have everything here, and I just want to have another function. I want to define a function, means only odd number. I want to print only odd number. If I want to pass the item, and I return that item divided or modulo 2 is not equal to 0, and I just pass this function instead of this multiply by 2, and everything is the same. Now let's print this. What will be the output? Well, that's true, false, true. Very, very nice. So that's great. It shows the same thing which we want here. So the filter function also does the same thing. Well, let's talk about another function. Well, zip function. Zip means zipper. Well, we need two lists or iterable and we zip them together. How? For example, the same thing we have here. Like I want to have another, well, list, your list. Your list will be like 10, 20, and 30. And I have everything the same, but only one thing is very, very important we have to follow. Like instead of map, in the previous example, I just did one thing like wrong. If I want to have this filter and I run this, well, 1 and 3. So we have used this filter function. So we need to add filter instead of map. We just did map here, but we did not do the filter. Now we have done this filter and the filter works fine. I have two lists, first list and second list. So instead of this filter, I want to have zip. Zip, well, here will be my list and here your list, because what we do zip, like the zipper, we just follow that. See, 1, 10, like 1 is taken from here and 10 is taken from here, 2 from here and 20 from here, so 3 from here and 30 from here. So it did zip, so it provided a list. So here it doesn't mean that it should be a list, it can be any iterable like tuple. So you can use a tuple, a dictionary, and have everything. So it should be iterable. And when we use this, well, zip function, for example, in a database, we have like the username and the phone numbers or some ID, and we want to have the zip of them, both lists, and we have the list of both, like the list of username and the list of phone number or the list of ID, and we want to zip both of them, means one for each user, and we want to have something from that. So we use dir, and this is very, very important, and well, we can use it many times, well, everywhere we just, well, find the need.